Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to day 13 of the Trust in Your Visions journey. I'm Kate, so if we haven't met before, if this is the first time you're watching a video here, then I'm the founder of OracleFest. I work as a shamanic oracle, hypnotherapist, retreat leader. I love hosting events and bringing community together. So this is why OracleFest was created, from a series of visions, actually, that I had, which brought me to a place, spirit realm, called Oracle Mountain, where we gather, and we gather along the different celebrations of the Wheel of the Year. And so we are gearing up for the renewal podium, which will be along with Yule season, and that will be December 20th. We're going to be having a global healing ceremony January 1st, so just look out for more details to come with that. We're doing the Omen Days practice between, so December 26th to January 6th, which I will also explain more about later. But the big kahuna, the big OracleFest Online, is January 30th to February 2nd. So the super early bird price is on now until November 24th. The super early bird is 4 days for $288. It is going to go up to $333, and then it is going to go up to $444. So I'd really love as many people, if you're seeing this now and you want to join us for OracleFest Online, the biggest event that we do all year, where we're going to have 44 plus speakers. We're going to have panel discussions. We're going to have sound healing every day, and we'll have live readings from the different Oracle speakers. Some of them you will recognize from being on Gaia or Shift Network or Mind Valley. Many of them are published Hay House authors. Many of them have Oracle decks of their own. And some of them come from areas that maybe you just wouldn't really come across them. There's a whole bunch of different subjects that we cover in OracleFest Online as well. This is our largest event, so we cover the gamut. We get as many different areas as possible all together. That way, no matter where you are on your spiritual journey, you're sure to have an activation, some sort of insights and wisdom received throughout that time. So that's all that about OracleFest Online. Would love to invite you to go check out that super early bird pricing, and that is on oraclefest.com. Today is day 13 of our 6-week journey, Trusting Your Visions. So we're going to talk about archetypes and exploring archetypes. And if you are part of the Trusting Your Visions attendees, if you've already purchased your ticket so that you can get the replays and you can get the guidebooks that we send out on a weekly basis, and you can be in the WhatsApp group and reach out anytime to ask me for personal support throughout this 6-week journey about your intuition, about your spiritual journey. I'm here for all of you. I'm here for all of you in general, but definitely the Star All Access pass holders and the Trusting Your Visions attendees. Feel free to hop in the Zoom room. If you have not checked your emails, then you will not have seen maybe that I sent out the Zoom link for us to have our live Q&A after this call. And we'll have another one on Sunday. So I'll be live again on Sunday with the Trusting Your Visions crew. And we'll continue working through all these 42, 43 days. So this is day 13. We're talking archetype exploration. And I taught a program all about archetypes and highly sensitive living, how to live as a highly sensitive being and understand more about who you are so that you also don't get absorbed by other people's energies or second guess your own path, so that you can train your own intuition and feel more like yourself. These are the different tools that I built in the Empath Energetics program, which many people went through. And it was so interesting working with highly sensitive beings for years, because I would see a lot of similar patterns and wounding come up. And this is actually the reason that I've chosen not to continue with Empath Energetics. Part of it is because of the name that brings. Also brings a certain archetype with it that I think I just grew out of needing to identify with or wanting to identify with, because I believe that sensitivity is our birthright, and that there's not people who are like, let's just say that some of the empath qualities also go into some victimhood qualities and are not so dissimilar to martyrdom, etc. And I loved helping these people. I would say I really love helping people to rise up and out of that and into more of who they are. But of course, not everyone takes that step. So what I think the archetype exploration can help with is identifying more layers of how you express yourself in the world. And then that way you can also check in. Is this rising into this archetype? Is this behavior or decision or action or choice helping me rise into the archetype that I'm feeling called to be in? And there are so many different archetypes. I will give a little bit of a list as well if this is one of the first times you've come across the idea of archetypes. This could be very new and a lot of information. But if you're very familiar with archetypes, then you might have ones already coming up with, who you feel you already are. So this is the realm of archetypes. Archetypes also would explain this feeling of having many versions of yourself or many selves. I like the idea of archetypes for when I'm feeling a certain way that is, here's an example. I was just saying yesterday that I've been feeling a lot more inward energy, and that is partly due to the season because we're in this, fall winter season. But it is also partly because I've been in like monk mode. And monk mode for me looks like a quiet, an inward, a creative time, certainly inspired, certainly dedicated and devoted. I have been doing a lot of creative work. And it's also limiting social social interactions or social situations. It's the feeling actually of not longing for that because of dedication to spirit. And what does it look like to be dedicated to spirit? And I will go into monk mode, I would say multiple times throughout the year, and I'll feel it kind of coming in as it's often actually when I'm trying to do pet sitting, because I choose to sort of get away from the typical day-to-day or the normal environments, maybe where I have more connections. So I just recently did that, exiting the Scottish Highlands where I do have more connections and I'm able to feel myself pulled in different directions happily and happier as well. I'm down in this in England, Englandshire, doing pet sitting, really to be able to laser in and receive what OracleFest needs for this big OracleFest in January. So let me look at my notes here. Archetypes. So archetypes are, I would say, like key roles that we find in society. They would be inner energies. And I would say we have many, many, many archetypes within us, and we can shift through different archetype focuses or phases throughout our lives. And they are fairly universal. If I describe an archetype to someone, they'll generally know from stories or from experience what that kind of expresses like. And it would be like characters, spiritual characters in your story and different parts of you as well. So for those of you who might be familiar with parts work, there could be some similarities here as well. And I believe that they're very important because of the reasons that I shared before, but also because it can, knowing which archetypes are walking with you at this time can help you explain some of your behaviors or some of your longings, like what you are desiring. For example, with my monk mode, I really was desiring alone time. I really was desiring an inward withdrawing and focus on my spiritual journey and also my work, dedicating to my work with spirit. It could also show you where you are needing more power or where your power is growing. And I don't mean power like total authority over others or anything like that, but just our innate power, our energy, and our life force. Where is that coming from and in which directions? So I will list a few archetypes that you might have heard of and some qualities that I associate with them. And then, we're going to do a live journey, again, another live journey, and we'll visit an archetype. And of course, you might have multiple. That's totally okay. But we are going to do a visit similar to what we did with the animal allies or spirit guides yesterday. So if you missed that, go ahead and check. I'm not sure whether people are able to easily see the lives after they've been live. So I am downloading and re-uploading them to the different channels, hoping that that does help more people see this as well. So some examples. We have the Maiden. I have very much the Maiden or the damsel. I have connected to many a time on my journey, which is very interesting. The Maiden or the damsel often associated with innocence or naivety, right? This beginning energy, or being like very receptive and like open to all, and in a sense waiting for someone else to help us, or waiting for something else, to occur for us to be able to receive our empowerment. I would say the damsel is a lot less with me now, but has absolutely been around many a time in my life. Maiden as well. My name actually means innocent. My name Kate means innocent. So there's certainly the quality of celebrating innocence and also carrying a certain level of innocence in a way that, it's a double-edged sword. And you'll find with all of these archetypes, there are this like the shadow and the light. There is the pro and the con of how we work with them as well. You might be familiar with the mystic. So that would be someone mystic, or maybe priestess could be a little bit of a similar quality. Intuition, ceremony. They set up portals. They are much more of the spirit mind. We have warrior being someone who carries a great deal of courage. My shamanic name is Fire Warrior. So people often are like, oh yeah, that makes sense for you. Because I think a lot of people see me as someone who is quite clear and directive, with myself anyway, very like brave. That I hear that a lot. I don't necessarily self-recognize that way, but maybe it does feel like I'm in battle often, especially in an inward way. And I am very into transformation. So Fire Warrior, I suppose, does make sense. But what's interesting is other people can sometimes see archetypes in you much more clearly, and that could point to some self-recognition or self-awareness that is looking to break through, or it could also just say this is how you're being received, and so you could look at that for your own information. It could just be something that you wouldn't have seen. And then the queen, and there's also king, of course, right? So if I'm saying anything in a feminized way, it doesn't mean that we have to be a female or male. I think that I sometimes will feel like a lot more of a masculine archetype moving within me. My monk mode, right? I could have described it as nun mode, but I really feel like it's like a monk, and it feels more like a masculine energy within me. And that's totally okay. The shamanic view, and actually a lot of people who would consider shamans are often seen as equal presenting male female energies, and this is because I think it's like stepping beyond the mask of genderedness. I know that can be a controversial topic, but it's not really to speak about that. It's more just the energies of masculine versus feminine. So we have the queen, and we also have the king energy archetypes. The queen being very much about leadership, as well as the king and sovereignty and reigning in a way with our own regality. And of course, I would also maybe associate with the queen a sense of like a sense of knowing where priorities are. And the king would also be, for me, a sense of like ensuring all needs, like in a more protective way, ensuring all needs of the kingdom are taken care of. Maybe a little bit more self-sacrifice when I look at king energy compared to queen. That's me personally. It could just be the way that I see this. And so I'd love to know, how do you see king or queen energy as different? Because they do hold a lot of similarities, but I also do sense that there's a lot of differences. And so we also have the wild one, or we could have the rebel, right? Someone who is focused on freedom or counterculture in some kind of way. The wild one being a bit more like instinctive and feral or primal, or whatever you might associate with that. The healer archetype, many of you will associate yourself with the healer archetype, being someone who moves with service to others or a great deal of compassion, who is focused on the idea of healing from a softer lens, like transformation, yes, but healing, knowing that there is this positive result of that transformation. The Oracle, you also, if you're here, probably, there's, I think, 180 of you or something on this channel at the moment. And probably all of you recognize yourself in some way as an inner oracle. Otherwise, you might not have been drawn here. So that would be someone who carries a very deep knowing. You have a strong intuition, and you also perhaps see or receive information through visions or through journeying. And then there is the lover being connected and maybe in the realm of sensuality or beauty, of attraction, of magnetism, the creative or the artist. Again, we talk about pros and cons. The con of the lover could be, magnetizing or attracting without regard for the emotions. And the creative or the artist, it could be a starving artist archetype, right? So we can look at the cons of how does that really work against us. We can also look at the pros. What is this calling forth? So the artist, it would be calling forth creative artistry and building out of nothing, or inspiration. We also have the sage or elder. You might find yourself carrying an archetype of elder and not having considered before what that looks like for you. The sage being like a wise one, someone who carries great perspective from experience and from that deep knowing place as well. We have archetypes like mother or father, archetypes like a knight or like a rescuer, a hero. We also had martyr, victim mindset. We have like bullies as archetypes. There's so many different, I could just go through a huge list. I have been working with archetypes for a long time, but I thought I'd bring out some that you might all recognize within yourself. And the archetypes often are not only showing you who you're becoming, but also who you are. And so you can look at all these archetypes as just revealing layers of who you already are, rather than, oh, I'm not anything like a queen, I'm going to have to try and become a queen. That could be a little distancing, put a little bit of pressure on you that is actually undue. So, okay. And after we are done this guided archetype journey, I will be in the Zoom room for all of us who are Star All Access folks and Trusting Your Visions folks. So, of course, if you would like access to the Zoom room and to ask questions and to connect after we do these practices, that's where to go. You'll also get the guide. The guidebook allows you to do your reflections and all that, which is so lovely. So we will, I'll talk a little bit too about how to work with your archetype, but I'll do that after we find one. So you may receive multiple in this journey, but of course, I do think it's easier if you look to simply connect to one. I will guide you through a vision, a journey, and we'll try to meet one today. And it doesn't need to be any of the ones I listed. It doesn't need to be one that you've met before. We're just going to stay really open-minded and present as to who within you is wanting to reveal themselves, which archetype is walking with you now. And then we'll reflect together and make sure that you write this down and that you right now find yourself a comfortable seat. Of course, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. Don't do anything that's going to take you out of safety. But if you can, get cozy. Maybe do some shoulder circles. Just relax your body. Ensure that you will have a little bit of uninterrupted space if possible. If not, you can always return to this. You can do this right before you go to sleep, for example. You can definitely find, 10 minutes in a day to be able to go back to this. So when you're ready, you can just close down your eyes. Gently close down your eyes and take in some deep breaths, slowing down as you are getting used to in these Trusting Your Visions journeys. When we tune into our body and check in before we journey, we're more likely to come back feeling grounded and feeling free to be here. So taking a few deep breaths. Deepening and lengthening those breaths. Just slowing the mind down. And remind yourself that your thoughts will still be there at the end of this journey. Any to-do list will still be there, ready for doing. And right now, feel yourself entering an inner temple. Allow this inner temple to reveal itself to you. And then do take a little look around. Any lights or symbols, tapestries? Is it stone? Are there candles? What does this temple look like to you and feel like to you? Notice the temperature and any sounds. And then, as you have walked around, exploring this temple, a door appears. And behind this door is the archetype walking with you right now who wishes to be known. They are so excited to meet you. So when you're ready, please open the door. And who is it that you see? Is it a figure or a color, maybe a presence or simply a symbol? Allow this archetype in whichever way to reveal itself to you now. And then pay attention to how they move. What kind of vibe or energy do they give off? And what emotion do you feel when you're near them? And you may ask your archetype, what are you teaching me right now? What are you teaching me right now? A similar question. What do you want me to embody? Or how is it that I can best embody you, this archetype? And which part of myself do you represent? Which part of myself do you represent? And finally, allow yourself to receive a symbolic gift. So this could be a color or light energy. It could be an object, maybe even a word, a movement or gesture, an animal, or even a sound. Allow yourself to receive a symbolic gift from this archetype and place it within you or on you whenever you receive it, and ask it what it means. Beautiful. You may ask your archetype any further questions. I'll give you a moment to do so. Amazing. Okay. And when you're ready, ensuring that you've put those gifts in a bag or on you, or you've held them in your heart, allow yourself to gently begin walking back out of the door if you've gone through it, out of your inner temple, and into this moment now, where you hear my voice. You become more aware of the room and the sounds around you wherever you are. You send your attention to your feet, perhaps wiggling your toes or your fingers, feeling your skin, the temperature around you. And then invite that same item, the gift or gesture, the word, anything you received, invite it to join you in this reality now and place it somewhere on your body or into your heart or into your third eye, so that it may be with you in this 3D realm, in this physical reality where it belongs. Beautiful. And now you can slowly begin to flutter open your eyes and come back to this present moment fully. So welcome back. Okay, so here are, you may actually share in the comments below, or of course on the Zoom room, you can share, we're going to chat after, but share in the comments, in the chat, what archetype you were met with, what archetype you connected to, and then there are a number of ways, we ask, what can we do from here? What do we do next? You can embody your archetypes through posture, through movement. What you might find very helpful, I know it might sound a little bit different or strange, but simply allow yourself to close your eyes and imagine as if you are that archetype now. Then allow yourself to move in whatever way you feel that archetype would move, if that's who you were, or that is who you are. So I know for me, that will be something that I do as soon as we get off this call. What I'll do is I'll walk around here with the energy that I felt present with me in that journey. And then you also might dress like your archetype. I know that many of my clients have taken to finding new wardrobe or necklace or, adornments, any type of thing like that, in order to feel like they're walking with the spirit of their archetype much more clearly. You might engage with a ritual. You might find it coming through in your voice. You know, for example, if you connected with being a sage, you might feel much more like communicating wisdom or connecting with larger ideas. You might also find yourself writing more, writing a book or something like that to communicate that knowledge, etc. You could engage in ritual. So if you connected with, like monk or nun or something like that, perhaps there's a spiritual ritual, lighting a candle in the mornings that you're feeling called to, or something like that. Creative works, you might engage with inspired images that you received. You might notice different desires, or you might also claim a different discipline. Like if you connected to the energy of athlete, you might claim a deeper sense of discipline towards your fitness journey, et cetera, or movement. You'll definitely notice it in your movements. In journaling or how you talk to yourself, you might view yourself a little bit differently. So you could do a practice such as asking the archetype, what does this version of me need today? Or how would this archetype make this decision? What would they not tolerate? That's a really, really good one. Like, what are your boundaries? What are these archetypes' boundaries? If I ask myself, this archetype that I connected to, and their boundaries, it is very clear to me how to continue with acknowledging those boundaries, because it is so easy to slip out and to just go back to human habits and the way that we have been raised or the way that we have been acting for years. So what would they not tolerate? And what are you being called towards? What is this archetype calling you forth to step into? And I really do feel that these archetypes are often inviting us to expand, inviting us to grow. So this archetype is living with you, walking with you today. Would love for you to list below which archetype you met. Maybe you come back and do this. Maybe set it on your calendar. You come back and do this another month or two from now, and see which archetype is walking with you then. You can even just put this YouTube link in your calendar. Share it with any friends who you feel could benefit from this as well. And tomorrow we will be doing more of a gentle reflection. So look forward to a video of me tomorrow morning. When you get up, I will record mine in the morning here. And we will see you Sunday as far as the live calls or the Zoom calls are concerned. And of course, if you are interested in joining us for the big OracleFest Online, but you're also interested in getting support right now with the Trusting Your Visions journey, and you'd like to also attend all of our podiums for the next year and really get into what OracleFest has to offer you, I would encourage you to join the Star All Access Pass. That's only $77 a month. So it becomes a lot easier to do on a monthly basis, and then you'll stay connected with everything. You'll get access to all the replays from all the events that we have done, which is kind of like having your own spiritual activating healing Netflix. I really do feel it has so much content in there. I'm going to be showing you more and more of what's hidden in the vault of OracleFest, because I think so many of you are curious and you don't quite know yet, and I'd love to show you more. And of course, if you are feeling called to deepen in your spiritual journey, I highly recommend you get some tickets, some way of accessing this big OracleFest Online the end of January 30th to February 2nd. If you purchase a ticket, you'll get all the replays for that event. If you're part of the Star All Access Pass, you get all replays throughout time. So you can watch last year's big OracleFest Online event, and you can also come to this one. And that's $77 a month. So the super early bird ends November 24th, Monday. And so that will be your last day to purchase a super early bird ticket for Big OracleFest Online. Big OracleFest Online being $288 with this super early bird, the lowest price that it will be. So I would love to see as many of you as possible receiving that epic deal. And then we'll keep seeing more and more people join us on Oracle Mountain. So enjoy the rest of your day wherever it is you are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being live. And I will go join into the live Q&A time on the Zoom call right now. And we'll see you then. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you the next day. I'll be here every day.